Welcome to Cybility Savvy, the show that demystifies cybersecurity for not-for-profit boards and leaders. Hello, I'm your host Michaela Leovorg, founder of Cybility Consulting. It's October, week 2 of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Last week we spoke about the importance of passphrases, long and strong, 3 random unrelated words. We talked about multi-factor authentication and using those authenticator apps on your phone if they're available. And finally, we spoke about the importance of software updates across all those systems. This week, we're going to talk about how we can fight phishing. Now, phishing continues to be one of the easiest ways for an attacker to compromise any organization. Unfortunately, they only need to succeed once, whereas we need to try and defend all the time. So what can we actually do to try and fight against this? I'm going to say something that might be a little bit out there for a cybersecurity professional now, because I don't actually think it's reasonable to expect people to stop it by themselves. I think what we need to do is actually create an environment where they can try and be vigilant, know how to recognise phishing, but it's safe for them to report if they do actually click on something or open an attachment and things aren't as they should be. So as a leader, it's your responsibility to help create that psychological safety for your people so that when something does happen, they recognise it, they report it, and you also have those defined incident response procedures in place to actually act on it. Whether you're a small organisation or a large one, it's still important to have that response procedure. It will just have different forms depending on the complexity of your organisation. In terms of how to recognise, there's lots of things, and certainly throughout the pandemic, it was just like Christmas has come at once for the cybersecurity criminals and attackers out there, because having COVID-19 in a subject line related to, you need to open this to sign up for your NHS vaccine, or perhaps a text message, which is known as smishing, where, you click here to book your appointment. It was just so easy, playing off people's worries and that urgency that they'd create. Also, think about your sort of standard scams, if it looks fishy, it probably is, which goes back to recognise it, report it, respond to it. Now, the third message this week is that general one around thinking before you click, whether it's links or attachments in emails, on your SMS on your phone, but think about social engineering in the wider context as well. What we've seen is that attackers, for example, in the hospice in the UK up north a few years back, that was a combination of using a phishing email with a follow-up phone call. That's known as vishing, by the way. And it's that combination of things that then add credence and make it more convincing for people to fall for some of these scams. I'm actually going to add a fourth message into this week, and that's thinking about your responsibility as a leader to make it easier for your people to do the right thing. Things like investing in phishing simulations. There's a wonderful example, or not, depending on which way you look at it, where an organisation sent out a convincing looking email from HR advising of a pay award for staff. It was a phishing simulation by the IT department. You can imagine how upset a lot of people were, especially in the current climate where lots of people have had their pay frozen. So phishing simulations can be a good investment in terms of helping people, as long as the education comes at the right point in the process and is something they can engage with, not actually be distracted by or resent because it's blocking them from doing their work. Different tools have different ways of doing this. So if you do choose to invest, have a think about that. You want an education awareness program around phishing that supports your staff to do the right thing, not a blame game. One of the other things you can do if you do phishing simulations and you're a leader who falls for it, record a little video, talk about what happened, share it with your staff. It will help create that all-important psychological safety to report. Now, the final thing I'd like to say to you this week about phishing is if you have the money to do so, invest in technical solutions to remove the emphasis on your staff to protect the organisation. Allow technology to help you where it can. Now, this might take the form of email filtering solutions. It might be some sort of protection on the device itself for, malware protection if somebody does actually click on something. One of the things I'd like to point out is they don't all have to be expensive. And quite often people will be sold these all singing, all dancing solutions when actually you've probably got things that can do part of the job already. It's just they may not be configured appropriately. So before you invest in new tools, ask the question, whether it's of your IT service provider or your in-house team. What phishing controls do you have at the different layers in the process to actually help protect your organisations? That rounds up week 2 of Cybersecurity Month. Remember, recognise it, report it, respond to it quickly.